Namaste, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of my health podcast. I have got the incredible Rama Douglas from LA, America, with us today. How are you, Rama?
I'm doing well, sister. Thank you. Thank you for taking time to do this. I'm looking forward to it.
I saw we've been Facebook friends, I guess, for many years now, and
Yeah.
I always love tuning into your sitar music, which you're going to treat us at the end of the show with a bit of a tune. Can't wait for that.
Thank you.
You go under the music persona of is it Metatron's Doob? I just love the name. I
Yes.
want to talk about that.
Yeah,
So Metatron
Metatron's dude.
being the archangel and then Doob being the Hoona that we all love. So tell me about that creation of that name.
I guess I was just it's a kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of a meme, that I don't know how I thought of it, but obviously Doob sounds like cube, so and then using the geometry, Metatron's cube, and then just throwing a doobie on it. It was just kind of a meme name, and to me it was hilarious, and I just kind of went with that. I was just using my name Rama before that, but yeah, I just like the whole. I like to be. I like humor, and I like people to lighten up and just have fun and chill out. So it's just kind of a fun little moniker.
Oh, I just love it. And it's interesting about energy because we've never met in person. And I was just reflecting on this in my morning meditation that we don't have certain beings you don't have to meet in person. There's always just a good vibe, a good feeling, a good, even us leading up to doing this show is just the ease of it all and just the honor between the two of us. And I just think, there's such good souls around, and if you trust your energy, even in an online way, you can connect with some really powerful beings. And yeah, so I love your music,
Thank
love your
you.
posts, love how aware. I think there was a bit of a tribe that through the last few years that got online and connected because maybe we had a bit of an alternative view to what was
Hmm.
going on through the quote unquote COVID years. So yeah, I feel bonded with your brother, and it's we've had you on the show before. You've done played the sitar for us before. We were doing a really trippy light language and galactic show, which was so
Right.
cool. Yeah, it's great to have you back. But the reason I kind of felt compelled to want to do a show with you is I've called this show A Powerful Healing Journey with Rama Douglas because and I've got goosebumps and tears kind of already welling up, but your personal story of healing using all of the things that relates to our My Health tribe or our My Health training and different things that we do at My Health really is that journey of healing and natural healing. And you're a bit of a yogi boy, like your name's Rama. So I'd like to kind of start with how you got into yoga and healing. And then we're going to tell your story personally of what's happened to you and your journey through that, which will just blow everyone's socks off, I know. So tell us about your childhood and why you're called Rama and who your parents are, because I know a little bit already, but tell
Sure,
us
sure.
all.
Yeah. So, well, I guess in the beginning, I was conceived in Philadelphia, city of brotherly love, but that's beside the point. But my parents were Hare Krishnas, and from what my dad told me, they did a lot of meditation. They were they were only like what 17, 18 when they were, I guess, pregnant with me, but they had a deep respect for the tradition of the Hindu um, Hindu religion and the Hare Krishna movement, and so they prayed like a lot on their beads. The Hare Krishnas have beads, and they pray, mala beads, and they pray around it. I think 108 beads, chanting Hare Krishna all day long. But anyway, so they prayed for a soul to come that was, they. It's weird to say just because it sounds kind of strange, but my dad
Not to us
was very.
yogis.
Yeah,
We get
right. But they prayed for a
it.
soul that was gonna be a teacher and embody Christ consciousness or Krishna consciousness in this realm. So they did that, and my birth name ended up being Ramachandra, and my father and
Which is
mother
which
had.
is moon, right? In Sanskrit, the Chandra, the moon.
I'm sorry, Ramachandra.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
the
been
the
a.
Chandra part moon in Sanskrit, I believe.
Probably, yeah. I mean, Ramachandra is a very common name as well in India, but so they named me that, and that Ramachandra was like a demigod, kind of like Jesus, a version of God in man form. And yeah, my mother and father kind of had a falling out, and he actually kidnapped me because he wanted to continue raising me as a Krishna. When I was 3 years old, grabbed me out of her arms and took me away. It was, I'm sure, a traumatic experience. I don't remember it, but I'm sure it was very traumatic at the time, especially for my mother. Well, for me too, I guess, as a 3 year old. But um, when she got me back, she changed my name to Christopher, but kept Rama as my middle name because she had the, initial pull, and she was drawn toward Krishna, I guess, at her early age. She didn't want to abandon that just because they were having issues, so she kept Rama as my middle name.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Because, I can't help but my psychic ding ding going, wonder what, when you were that age and what we're going to talk about with your healing journey. Because the body does, in a way, keep score, if you like, of all of these imprints and all of these emotions. We teach in our school about metaphysics, and, Louise L. Hay brought so much good information through the 80s in that kind of era of, to have a look at the emotional counterpart to, the physical. And I know you would have done that in spades on your healing journey that we're going to get into. And it really does create absolute miracles. And what I love about you is there seems to be, anyway, and I know you would have gone through it, there seems to be no victim mentality within you, which speaks to a very highly conscious being within itself. A lot of people do love to play victim, and then they can draw other people's energy. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. It's just a dynamic before, maybe you start to really do deep inner healing and evolve out of that. But you seem very self-contained to me, Rama. You're not there siphoning energy off people. So I, just feeling into what you were saying, and that prayer ritual that would have gone around opening those portals for you to come through, and we've got the Merkaba there behind you for again, it's all perfect. Who is this being that came through? Who is this master teacher, I want to say, who came through? And oftentimes, and I got goosebumps saying that, that's always my truth radar. Oftentimes the master beings get really big initiations, like huge life initiations, and it never seems fair to the, like looking at the typical everyday life. Why do I have to have these big initiations? And yet a master will always attract a big initiation, because that's how they test their skills in these, within these more embodied or lower dimensions. Lower dimensions is perfect. It's not bad. It's great, but it can be really challenging, to have to work through
boot
physical
camp.
layers. Yeah. And when we talk about physical layers for you, we're really about to, go there and explain what your miracle journey has been about. So, Rama, I have some videos of you, and just to, create a context, I guess, before I put these videos up, in your own words, what has happened? When did the accident happen? And then what's been the evolvement from there? And I might pause you at some point and put these videos on just to kind of show, what the story has been about.
Sure. So most of my life, my whole life, I would say since teenage years, has been about thrill seeking. So I was a big adrenaline junkie, always snowboarding, really into the natural stuff, getting out in nature and just hurling myself off of cliffs. I was always an adventurous soul, still am, but I guess I'd say I'm a retired adrenaline junkie now. But so I was getting into scenarios where I guess many times I probably could have been taken out and or injured just as badly or worse through some of the activities, cliff diving into water, jumping off of cliffs on snowboard, bungee jumping, blah blah blah. But I ended up breaking my back first in the year 2001, snowboarding, and that time I didn't end up paralyzed, but I was able to get myself off of the mountain. I jumped off a cliff, landed on a rock on my tailbone, and bleeding profusely out of the area. It was a compound fracture. So I looked under me, and I was out by myself, way up on the mountain, about to meet my then at the time girlfriend for lunch. But I saw the big pile of blood, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna die up here unless I get myself down, because there was nobody around in that area. So I
Were
mustered
you
up the strength.
fearful going into these, big jumps and, all that adrenaline?
Oh,
No.
well, no, I mean, there's a sense of excitement and big, and I guess almost confidence, but obviously some of that is blind confidence or dumb confidence, if you could say, because sometimes it ends you in scenarios like what happened to me. But um, that time, I mean, I got myself down and was put back together again, and did a lot of physical therapy to get moving again. I actually had a spinal fusion at that time, but no paralysis. So over the years, I continued snowboarding and doing, these crazy activities. And then I guess at about 2019, I started getting into electric unicycling. Um, and those things now, they go 60 miles plus per hour, kilometers, I guess, 110 kilometers an hour plus nowadays. But back then, and then I got super into that, and I started an event here in Los Angeles. It was called Los Angeles EUC Games. Actually had some people come out from New Zealand. But anyways, I got super into that in the community, and I was riding a trail in 2021 up in the hills above Los Angeles, where these videos are that you'll see. And I used to transfer from the electric unicycle to a rope swing that they have up on this trail on off of Mulholland Drive. And it was a lot of fun. I never really even thought it was dangerous, because I've always been kind of crazy in that respect with doing physical acts, and always had a lot of confidence in my body to be able to do these things. But so I used to do this swing, and maybe you can show that video, but where I transferred from electric unicycle to the swing. This was the proper way that I used to do it, like Spider-Man swinging around. But
I'm going to put
maybe
this on now.
Sure.
Before you go on, now that, we'll disclose, because you then did go have an accident with paralysis. So can I, if you don't mind sharing, because it really is a deep dive healing chat we're having, which I know is going to inspire so many, and I want to thank you for sharing with everyone so vulnerably and authentically. But what do you feel when you see that with your body operating, so well before the accident? What does that bring up for you?
That just makes me happy watching that video. I've always been into, fun, crazy activities like that. So that one makes me happy. The other one is, the other one, I guess I could say I was lucky to have the footage, but I never did share it, because for me it was very traumatic to watch again. But these things.
Put that one on. Yeah, let's
Sure.
put that one on now so people can see the sequence of events. And,
Sure.
just for everyone to hold space as you're watching this for Rama, send him healing energy if you're open to that, Rama,
Sure.
because this is then what happened, and the courage and the bravery for you to show this for everyone, for your own personal healing journey, and then how that awakens all of us as well. So we'll pop this one.
Oh. Fuck me. Oh.
Yeah. Oh man, I've watched that a few times now, and I'm like, woo!
It's so crazy how fast it happened too, because like when it did happen, it just seemed like the seconds between slipping with my grip and hitting the ground, it seemed like a while. You know what I mean? And it's just like so instant right now. So it's obviously painful to watch, but at the same time, again, this happened in January 2021, so about almost 5 years ago now. So Yeah,
And
at the
has your
time when
mind replayed that a lot, Rama? Have you found that you've gone, oh, what if I hadn't have taken that jump? What if I had
sure,
have you
that's
gone
that's
cycle?
that's kind of, yeah, that's a natural process I think everybody goes through when they have something happen like that. But on the same token, there's a couple of things in my life that I kind of foresaw happening, and one of them was my mother passing at an early age. She died when she was 51, a year younger than I am now. Actually, she had just turned 52, so she was my age now when she passed. But so that I kind of knew, I had that feeling. It was just a feeling that I had, and then I also had this inner knowing that, and I guess this was probably kind of soul contracts type of stuff, before we come into this realm. And it was one of those things where I just kind of had this idea that I might end up in a wheelchair or I might be paralyzed, So I had those thoughts in the back of my head, and I think that those are the only two uh, scenarios where I kind of had an idea of it happening beforehand. So I hope I'm done with that in this life. The super traumatic stuff. But
It's interesting you say that because I've just had personally, and you know some of my story these last few years and big initiations, and I
mhm,
just had my guide say to me, no, that initiation, it will end. Like it's not that you have to keep staying in a trauma loop and a trauma cycle. And
mm,
so just as you said that, I'm like, yeah, that that confirms for me too. And I do think, it's so refreshing talking to you because I do think seeing that master code wanting to come in, as your parents did their kind of opening for you to have this passage, and then the big stuff, the big initiations, the big life lessons, the big awareness for you of what does it mean to be a soul in a body, because then your body was working and you were doing all the daredevil stuff, and then the body was
mhm,
like, we're not functioning, but then the consciousness must have become so loud to you, because if the body's not functioning, then you can't distract yourself. So but I just want to confirm. Yeah, I feel like that's it. You don't have to keep going through. So whatever
right,
awakens on the other side is the, well, I call them the divine rewards of doing the healing journey. It's like passing the initiation or graduating from that
right.
soul lesson. So tell me about that. When the body then, well, tell us about medically what happened, and then we'll get into the consciousness side of it.
Oh, sure, sure. So yeah, when I fell, you can't see it in the video, but where I did fall, it was right on T12. It's kind of like middle back, and there was a rock. So had that rock not been there, I might not have gone through that this way. But the rock was just there, and it's right on the pinpoint. And I mean, as soon as it happened, I mean, you can hear in the video, I just screamed, "Oh, fuck me!" Bleep, bleep me. It was very.
Yeah, like instantly you knew.
I knew, yeah, I knew. I mean, I knew instantly that, and it was just, it's a pretty trippy experience, not being able to move your legs all of a sudden after being an athlete for so many years and whatnot. So it was. I mean, in the moment, I was pretty terrified. But there were two ladies that were in the video when I started coming this way, that they had just passed, and one of them was a nurse, and so they were like guardian angels that just happened to be there that day, obviously. But she gave me some beautiful wisdom, when I was laying there waiting for the helicopter to take me away. She said that she was a nurse and worked with spinal patients before, and she was asking me, to touch my legs, and she was like, "Can you feel them?" And I was like, "Actually, I can feel them. I couldn't feel them as well as I should have been able to had I not gotten injured, but I could still feel, when I would touch them, I could feel that I still had sensation, even though I couldn't move anything." So she said, "Well, if you can feel, then there's a great chance that you'll walk again." And I of course held on to that, and I got airlifted, which is another whole. Actually did have a video of that, but I forgot to send that. But that's another adventurous thing, getting hoisted up out of a canyon in a helicopter. That was a trip. You only
It's
see that kind of stuff in the
extraordinary
movies.
that your guardian angel was there in the form
Oh,
of a
others.
nurse that knew about spinal
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I went
healing.
they took me straight to UCLA Medical Center, and this was during the height of COVID, and even in my condition when they were about to admit me, they're like, "Well, we can't admit you without a COVID test." Like, oh my god! And you knew how I was. I was like, I knew it was all deception and blah blah blah. So I mean, I had heard at that time that if you jam the things up your nose, that's gonna create anyways. I was a little paranoid about the tests, so I told them that they could not shove the thing up my nose. Even in that state, I was like, nope, you can't shove it up my nose. And I made him do it in the cheek, which hopefully that's better, but that's a whole other conversation. But I got admitted. I had emergency surgery that night.
That's some power, Rama, in that case, and you could still self-protect. I mean, that's what a great story.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. And in hindsight, I mean, there's people that have these injuries, and I mean, if you have an injury like this, obviously, you're just kind of hoping that the whole medical system can help you and take care of you, and in the sense that it is supposed to serve others rather than just keep them as a business client. You know what I mean? Hospitals kind of have always yuck. I don't like hospitals or the healthcare system, but
Yeah.
in that situation, I was like, okay, I'm going to need this surgery, whatever you can do. And was very auspicious that the surgeon, she was, her name was Elizabeth Lord, she introduced herself as Dr. Lord. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I'm in the Lord's hands. This is going to be all good, But so that was nice. It was trippy.
All those symbolisms along the way too. It's good to tell the story because you can see like the dots all join up of you were protected.
That was beautiful. But
wow.
So she sewed me up and put another spinal fusion on top of my prior one, which was a L2 through L4 for my snowboarding injury. So that was all fused together. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vertebrae fused now. So, and I think that where I was trying to go with that is other people who've had spinal injuries have denied the surgery and healed on their own too, which I think that was the route Joe Dispenza took. And in hindsight, had I just opted to just lay around, and I probably could have healed that way. But I think with these surgeries, when they put these metal pieces in your back, part of the recovery problem is that all the tissues have to work around that now, and relearn how to walk and relearn how to function. So I think when you see me in the video of me walking later, you'll see that I can, walk without a walker, but it's a little bit, it looks kind of like I'm perma-drunk.
Let's have a look at that video because this is the one that really I was like, I just started crying. I was so seeing it on Facebook and I just started crying and I had goosebumps, and I think I commented straight away like, oh, we've got to do a show because I was so, I'm just so inspired. So let's have a look at this one.
Sure. A rope swing, I broke 212 and was paralyzed. Couldn't move. Walk, had to have an operation on my back. Second one. But to faith, heart, and a lot of alternative treatments and persistence. Mostly with the walker. Not that great without it, but pretty good considering. So, never give up hope. It's all perspective. You can do whatever you want. Put your mind and your heart to it. You can heal. You can do whatever you want. Okay.
Oh, I just love that, Rama. My heart, I just go, wow. And I just love that we can have this conversation because for us, My Health yogis and healers, essentially, that's this is our pathway, and we never. I always teach our trainees that there's never right or wrong, so you can't assign that if you've had an accident or if you've had a relationship breakdown, or in my case I got conned really badly out of a lot of money. You can't make the experience wrong. I mean, you want to play victim,
Right.
of course, and there's a time for that, and you've got to dive in and do the inner work, but at some point you go, okay, there's no right or wrong to the experiences that we have, in these embodied
Right.
realms. But what can we do with it? And you're just that shining example. I just get the lump in the throat, but you're that
Mm.
shining example of someone who just really literally got up and walked again. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's what a
It's
lifetime and what a way to show the world just through pure action. Um, what a healing journey can be about. So if you're open to it, let's have a chat about what I mentioned before. When you can't move the body, and I know this through a lot of meditation, many, many years of meditation. If you can't distract the body, suddenly the voice in the head, the voice in the mind can become very, very loud. Suddenly you're like, okay, my inner voice is so loud and I can't distract myself. So what happened to you more on a consciousness journey and getting to know yourself at that more deep spiritual level, because you couldn't function in the body for some time?
right. Yeah. So again, this was during COVID in the hospital, so I didn't have any visitors for. I guess I was there 6 weeks, something like that. Um, so that was lonely. But as I was laying in bed, I could. This was probably right. Well, let me start. This is right after the operation. So the night of the operation, of course, I was drugged up on whatever the hell they gave me. But even in that state, I was able to, and this was my MO. I was like, I'm gonna fucking meditate and you know get whatever I need to get tonight. So I went deep and I was meditating and I meditated the whole night basically, and I got to a place within myself where um, I basically gave myself to God and said, this is bigger than me, um, you know, but let's do this. And I gave my heart to God, and I was in a Garden of Eden setting, very beautiful. Um, and so I just had this beautiful meditation where that was kind of the point of it, just where I was giving myself to God and giving my heart to God and saying, let's do this. Let's get through this. 'Cause I can't do it on my own. So after that night, I was in the hospital and having many woes and pains and blah blah blahs. But I had this sense that my nervous system was still connected enough to where I felt that I could, you know, get my legs moving again eventually. It didn't happen right away, obviously, but I just had that sense that the connections were still there. The connections from the brain all the way down the spinal cord and into my toes. I could sense that they were still there, even though they were inflamed and crushed and uh, you know in pain at the time or whatever. A lot of trauma. So I knew that I could do this, and the thing that sparked it all in the hospital actually was when I was first able, like they transferred me from UCLA down to Long Beach to a what do they call it, to a rehab, like a physical rehabilitation facility. And so even though I still couldn't have visitors, but there was a little courtyard outside, and I was learning how to be in a wheelchair and transfer out of bed, getting into the wheelchair. And the first time I was allowed outside, I think it was probably 2 or 3 weeks since I had felt the sun. And I just got outside and had the sun on my face, and I was just bawling my head off. I was so grateful just for the sun, to be in the sun again. And then, they started letting me out into that courtyard whenever I wanted to. So I immediately started grounding because I knew that Mother Earth connection was going to help, you know, with all the putting Humpty Dumpty back together again aspect. So I was grounding, and I think after just the first day of grounding, I began to be able to wiggle a toe, and from there I was so excited. I got on.
Isn't
I think I
that
was
let's
probably. Hmm.
That's
Yes.
incredible, Rama. It goes to show, and there is a whole science around grounding, obviously, but I think it's
Yeah.
almost too simple and people they may
Yeah.
intellectually know about it, but whether they actually physically do it every day is a whole other thing. And for
Yeah.
you to apply that and have that result straight away, I mean, gosh,
Ooh,
because
yeah. So
Mother Earth, it will rebalance us. And you think about like the old way in the hospitals, they used to wheel out the patients to sit in the sun as well. That's your instinct to know sun, earth, like it
yeah.
truly that's got to be number one with any healing journey. Yeah.
Yeah. Sun, earth, and touch was another big thing, and I just, most of the nurses wouldn't do it. It's like outside of their, job description. But every once in a while, I'd have a really amazing uh, angelic nurse that would actually touch my feet. I wanted my feet and my legs touched in the hospital so bad, and that gave me immense relief. So that was
Amazing
beautiful.
that
But
also to you had that inner connection, like whether it's the meridian system you were connecting to, the internal, nadi system as we yogis call it, but those energy pathways, like you were so deep in that meditation, you could experience, okay, there's still connection, mind, body, to your feet. And also to the surrender to, to the divine, the surrender to God. I do feel, we're talking about like the big hitters with healing, that level of capitulation, that again is what heals. It's
yeah,
all of those. They almost seem too basic and people miss the point, but they're the big
yeah,
ones, like surrender to the power that is not trying to give you a hard time, is actually trying to help you and have a full soulful experience, which the human mind can't often make sense of. So when we capitulate then to that power, we open portals for that energy to rush through. And yeah, so I'm
yeah.
loving this. I knew we were going to have a good chat. I knew, I just knew like this man understands healing. So this is great. So
Yeah,
I'll
and
let you.
it all starts with mindset on something like that. It's like you can't listen to the doctors too much because they say you'll likely never walk again, and it's like, okay, that's
Right.
just chatter. But yeah, so it all starts with mindset and knowing that you can achieve these healings through meditation, focus, breath work, plant medicines, nature, all those things are huge, and it's so simple, really, because it's a matter of, can this person break through the programming and access all those tools that are free, um, and that work. It's the programming
Free.
that we
Free
have
and
to
work.
battle
Like,
through.
what are we
Yeah,
doing?
yeah.
Right?
Right, and obviously some other treatments I've done, to get myself better, are not free, and we had a beautiful GoFundMe, and thank you again to anybody who helped out pitch into that, because that helped a lot. Getting some treatments like acupuncture, K laser, shockwave, stem cells, all these things have helped.
Wow.
And I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm still
Yeah.
I still got work to do, but
Yeah,
and
we'll see you running soon on a reel.
I hope
Look
so.
at you get you
Might
back
get
on
the
the
faceplant.
fly.
Probably get a faceplant video first.
I just
Uh,
love your energy. So I want to dive into the plant journeys. I
yeah.
know, like our dog, for instance, is turning 16, and he's been on CBD oil. But in Australia, you can get. We live close enough to a town that does the whole plant, if you know what I mean. So it's got the THC in it, which I know you can't get with CBD oil. Like they're doing their best. It's a legal thing. Like it's just not that readily available. But our dog Rama on this, Chris, my partner, calls it Huna. Like he just loves the whole philosophy of the Hawaiian and the Huna and the
Mm,
plant and you call it the doob and all the ganja. We've got all these beautiful like
right.
names for it in the old traditions and returning. It's funny you said you were in the garden. You went to the Garden of Eden. And this local town that does the proper medicine, they always say return to the garden, because
Mm,
this plant is God or goddess plant. Often people call it Mary Jane marijuana. Like it's Mother Mary's plant. It's a gift for free.
Hmm.
It's meant to be for all to heal, and the cannabinoid receptors that we have in our brain. It's kind of like a lock and a key situation. And so I knew I could have this chat with you, and I wanted to share about our dog and how well he's doing. I don't think he's going to go anytime soon either. Like
That's great.
these plants, man, they heal. So I don't know
Yeah,
in terms of your plant medicine journeys. It might have been ayahuasca, it might have been something else, but I'd love you to share about that side of it, and what Mother Earth's plants how she can help us too.
sure. And I'll just start since we're still on the topic of cannabis. But yeah, cannabis I have used throughout the years, sometimes more recreationally, sometimes more medicinally. But for me, it does help with nerve pain. So I've used it over these years to help take the edge off of the nerve pain that is associated with a spinal cord injury. Because a lot of people have really bad nerve pain. Mine is. I mean, it's there most of the time, but I've kind of learned to just grin and bear it. But cannabis does help with that quite a bit. But I'd say the most healing plant medicine journeys for me, it started with ayahuasca probably in I don't know 2017 or so, and she led me to my current role as shamanic sound healer, and being able to provide frequencies for people on their own journeys. So that was a huge blessing for ayahuasca. And more recently, it's been with Bufo. I'm currently going through a Bufo facilitator training program. So I'll be able to administer people, and learning a lot from Susie from Temple of Eden. She's amazing, and really dots her I's and crosses her T's really well with everything, especially harm reduction, which is you want people to be safe in spaces that are dedicated toward healing, and where some practitioners do not follow the right steps, unfortunately, and sometimes can end up with scenarios that could have been avoided. But she's great with all of that. And the
Because you're
key
really
is,
needing to hold space, aren't you? When someone's going on a journey, if you're the practitioner, you really need to be very present to the
oh yeah,
fluctuations that they're having emotionally, and what they, because often, and I don't know about is it Bupo, did you say?
Bufo, huh?
Oh, Bufo, yeah. So I don't know about that one, but I'm assuming it
Oh,
also
okay.
opens up the third eye. So that can be a crazy ride
Yeah,
if
yeah,
people aren't used to that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's a whole screening process and everything, but that's a whole other story. But with Bufo, that was probably the medicine that kind of well, let me get back to the injury spot. And this, but we'll just explain it real quick. Like when you get an injury in a body part, it's usually because the universe has said, okay, enough's enough. You have to learn these lessons. You've been holding and harboring energy in this certain area of your body. For me, it was my spine or my back where I was holding traumas. Happened in 2020, and then again in 2021. So there's those pent up energies that have to be released and felt to be healed. You got to feel it to heal it, right? So Bufo and getting involved with the Temple of Eden community really helped me crack open and excuse me, and focus on the release of that stuck energy. Oddly enough, it was usually the breathwork sessions before the Bufo session that actually got me to really purge those beautiful breathworks. It's a lot of hard work to get there, but man, I was bawling my head off for a good year or so in ceremony, several times. And I usually don't purge much anymore, which is unless it's laughter. I do laugh a lot when I'm on medicine ceremonies, but lately, yeah, I got out a lot. I moved a lot of stuck energy, so I'm very grateful to these medicines for that. Um, but yeah, Bufo and San Pedro as well. So Bufo is like ayahuasca. It's like a DMT. It's 5-MeO DMT. It's basically a quick businessman's handshake. 15 minutes or 20 minutes is about how long it takes, and it's another divine feminine energy. So it's like ayahuasca. It's like grandmother energy with Bufo, but it's very short. So the actual ego death slash full release journey is typically like an 80 to 100 milligram dose that you kind of white out, and you have this experience of just being consciousness. A lot of people describe it as a death experience, ego death. So Bufo's a real feminine energy. San Pedro is the cactus, so it's a grandfather energy. I've done a lot of San Pedro lately too, and that always used to get me to purge with crying usually. And lately, again, it's just I know I'm there to serve when I do these things. A lot of it was serving myself in the beginning, because I knew I had to get that energy flowing again, and so grateful for these tools for that. For me, it's been every month or 2 months where I feel the call for an entheogen experience. Just the LA energy is very thick, and it's always recenters me, brings me back to center. Sometimes I get irritable afterwards, but it's a very beautiful to be able to use these medicines and have them walk hand in hand with us, basically, in our own healing journeys. It's just been paramount for me, and I
That's so
recommend them
powerful.
for anybody who wants to deepen their own healing journey. So.
I mean, what a beautiful pathway to, go from the purging, crying to now into the laughter. I mean, it really shows you, that it mirrors you, doesn't it? It shows you yourself, and that the joy that's running through you, because you've taken the time to do the inner exploration, or the inner excavation. Sometimes it is, when we're in these spaces.
Shadow work.
And yeah, if there are people here listening that haven't done these sort of journeys, or haven't done a lot of meditation, or yoga, traditional yoga, I mean, or whatever it might be to take you inward, a lot of nature. Maybe what we're talking about doesn't fully land, but for those that have done, enough inward journeys, this is really where, again, if we talk about the big power hitters in the healing world, this is just the true, you land in that true joy of laughter ultimately, and it's always worth it. And I guess some people don't choose to go through these big healing journeys, Rama. They tend to look outside of themselves. Oh, the answer's outside there. I'll try this formula, that formula, this teacher, this guru. I'll do all this stuff. I'll do the mainstream. I'll do the medical. I'll do all this stuff. Just don't take me inward, because if you go inward, well, what's there? To begin with, like literally, you're dealing with demonic entities sometimes, and then you get a clue that, okay, maybe they reflect parts of my consciousness. What am I really dealing with here? Like you could say, what was in your spine that was locked, that was jammed, and you forced, but that's your higher self also bringing you into that, accident experience. Go inward. What's in there? Keep clearing, keep clearing, keep clearing, until we return to the pure divine consciousness, which is all that, I think, that mirth and that laughter and that joy. I know, because I've taught consciousness so many years, and this comes from the David Hawkins teachings, that above duality sits love, joy, and peace consciousness. Now they don't have their polar opposite. They're not duality consciousness. They're unified consciousness. Love, joy, and peace. They're the three highest levels of consciousness. So, you're in there talking about the laughter, and it's like there does become a part of the pathway where you sit as the observer, even to the physical nerve pain, maybe in your case. You've got the ability to be the observer. And, I just mainly wanted to do this show to empower people who are listening and watching, and to encourage them, go inward, because
exactly. That is the whole message.
It's worth it. We've got some shit
and
to
it can be the scariest thing to do for people. It was always scary for me, especially having had a horrible acid experience in the 90s, where I didn't think I ever would touch another psychedelic in my life, and it took me many, many, many years to have the courage to go back again. And I think DMT was the first thing I tried. After that whole 20 years off of, or almost 20 years off of psychedelics, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing in the 90s. And but
like all of us when we're younger, Rama.
I mean, it's just that can be the most terrifying thing for people, is knowing that they have to go inside and face what their body is stored within it, trauma wise. So yeah, it can be very scary for people to do, but it's so worth it. You just got to sit there. I mean, all you got to do is sit there when
Yeah,
you take these
doesn't
medicines.
it? Seems like
You
the
sit
easiest
there
thing,
and
but not the easiest thing.
yeah,
And
sit
and
there
great to
and
know, like your Temple of
allow.
Eden crew. Yeah, there's good healers, good space holders that really honor the full process, so that this can be
Yeah,
made available to more people in a very therapeutic setting. I just find that so inspiring. But yeah, it seems like the easiest thing to do. But of course, particularly once the third eye opens up, that is you can travel anywhere through that portal. And again, when you got the Merkaba behind you with your artwork, and so that patterning or that geometry forms around us energetically and literally. People who are well versed in whether you call it astral travel or quantum travel, doesn't really matter, but there's just so much to explore. And I guess once, I want to encourage people, once you get past, dealing with the stuff that you feel guilty about, still cringing about, regrets, whatever's in there, you move through it, all the pain body, all the inner child wounding, all of that. You get into the vastness of, I guess we call it the galactic, but it's an inner journey, and you can
right.
talk to star beings, and you can ride a unicorn if you want. Like kids know this stuff, right, Rama? Like we had it as kids, but it's
Yeah,
still there. We want to
it's
go
all
explore.
remembrance, right? It's all about remembrance. Yeah, the
It's all
remembrance
about
gets blocked.
remembrance.
That's Earth
Yeah,
School. That's Earth School
yeah.
in a nutshell.
Yeah. And there's
Remembrance.
so
Yeah.
much enchantment there. I think ultimately the enchantment comes, and it's so worth the journey always, because you do connect back to the divine code. Like your surrender to God. It's like, you know what? I can't figure this out on my own, so I can't. And then
Yeah.
it just starts flowing through you, and it takes you on the
Yeah.
journey, and it's trusting in the moment more than anything, I would say. What would you say about that?
Yeah, it's a lot about trust. You have to really trust that everything is going to be okay, and you might have to go through some uncomfortable situations. And you know, I'm thankful that I was able to get through this and still have some motion. I was a huge athlete. I would go up to the mountains and run on trails, like passing up 20-year-old kids at 48. Like running past them. I was like a monster up there. But so having that taken away, it's been a huge thing to deal with, obviously. But I just find just as well, not the same kind of joy, but just as much joy just being out there, like you saw me at Lake Hollywood, just making my rounds and doing up to 3 miles or whatever, whatever I can do at the time. Just keep working the body. The body needs the motion, the motion and the endorphins, and to feel good and be happy and thrive. So it's just been beautiful. But yeah, it's got to have the courage to dive in and go for it.
That's
Have the knowingness that you can get through it. Everybody can do it.
Yeah, and like the words you just used, dive in, because it is diving in, because it's the emotional body, it's the watery aspects of self. Even the structure of our physical self is 80% water. The structure of the planet, 80% water. Why don't we dive in to these deeper spaces where that the true joy actually is? But because emotion, as you were saying, like it's scary. It's scary too in the first point.
Yeah.
So we're starting to come to the end of our hour, which it'd be nice to wrap it up within that time frame, because I think we've covered a lot, and we've really hit all the points I knew we were going to as well. I knew this was going to flow so beautifully. But before we go, I do want to do a shout out to your beautiful wife, because let's talk about her as a support
Oof.
to your healing journey, and anyone else in your family unit as well. They're your angels too, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the poor thing. She's gone through so much with me, and stuck by my side. It's just very beautiful. Getting a little emotional, but yeah, she's been my rock. She's been my support. She's just been amazing, and I love the hell out of her. She's we've been married since 2009. And, you know, obviously when somebody goes through an experience like this, just doesn't really need to be said, but it's usually harder for the person that's on the other end of the injury, you know. So she's gone through a lot, and right now we're trying to get her back on track with some of her own health issues and stuff that have popped up from this, because it was a lot of stress for both her and for my daughter. So yeah, it's a lot to go through something like this. It's not just me, and you can see me doing pretty well or whatever, but you know, there's a lot of stuff that a partner takes on energetically, you know, going through something like this. So yeah, thank you for for honoring her.
Oh yeah, I got the tears and the goosebumps too. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
when I first messaged you about, the video I saw, here comes the tears, and I could, in my mind's eye, I could just see her, and your daughter as well. How old's your daughter now?
14.
14, and just the
Yeah,
presence. I just knew whoever's in there in your close circle, this is it's the miracle that you've all created. You get to
yeah,
front it up, but it's something that's yeah, bigger than that. So yeah, I'm glad we got to yeah, as you said, honor her. So and your beautiful daughter as well, because
right.
I mean, kids know so much too, don't they? Intuitively, they can be very honest about things and point things
Yeah,
out. And sometimes you go, "What?" But they're usually, very direct kids and heart based as well. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But yeah, they've been amazing through all of this. So much
love it.
gratitude for that.
Well, I
And
think before we
thank you, Carrie Ann.
Oh, no, thank you. I just, yeah, as I say, which I said at the top of the show, I just know energy, well, sometimes I don't know energy. Rama, I've been through some experiences, as you know, where, I've been duped, and then, to talk about my own cycle, you go, okay, at some point I needed to be duped. I needed to have that experience. I needed to,
Right.
yeah, to realize sometimes I can't read energy. When it comes to more intimate matters, I'm not real good, but
Right.
when I'm usually in my center and there's no hooks emotionally, yeah, I would say I'm a very good reader of energy. Toot my own horn, but therefore with you, I just know, there's that. I don't know. It's almost like a common thread, even though we live in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I felt very
something.
connected to you. So yeah, we've had some telekinetic banter before, you know, and like when you were sharing the whole dragon, some kind of a dragon initiation, that was so potent. And when I locked into that energetic that you shared, that was beautiful. So thank you for that. That was
Nice.
quite an experience. So, yeah, you
Yeah, I
keep
know,
that
I know,
between
I know we do telepathy with each other. Like I was about to say that, and you said that. I'm like, oh well, there you go. We're already doing. So that they're
us.
always good connections to have. And I want to encourage anyone like who's got that with other people around the world. Remember, they're these light nodal points that are here that we're all connecting. It's like a
Yeah.
love network that's going on. And to
Hmm.
trust in that, because you can't always trust in online connections. Let's take my example. But when you
Right.
can, it's worth. You don't have to connect in all the time with these sort of beings either. It might be in 10 years we'll connect back again. It doesn't really matter because it doesn't die. There's a tribe here that came to, just share a different way, a different reality that anyone can easily step into if they choose to do the inner work. But they have to do the work
Hmm.
themselves.
For sure.
That's how this whole process works.
Hmm.
So thank you so much, Rama, and let's sign off with some Metatron's Doom, bit of music.
We'll sitar plucking for our outro. Again, thank you, Carrie Ann, and for anybody watching, thank you for giving your time, and I hope that you are on your own healing journey, doing really well in your own lives, and hopefully can play a few notes for the for the for the collective that will help them and their own journeys. So thank you again. I'm going to take this out and just use the phone mic for that.
Okay. And we'll put up any relevant links that anyone might want to Rama as well. If yeah, you'll share those links with me, Rama. We'll put it in the show notes if anyone wants to connect with
sure,
you.
sure.
And work
Yeah,
that
like
you do.
the Metatron on Instagram, and yeah, we can put that in.
Great.
You hear audio?
Yeah, it's perfect.
There we go.
I'll put you on the big screen, Rama. So you won't see me, but I'll be here. I'm just going to put you up on the big screen, so it's just you.
Okay.